do that.
Yeah, I love like the ego stroking. Like I'll take it.
I like that. All right, so let's go. 3. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to NEOStreams. My name is Alex Schacht. With me, as always, is former national champion Chris Fulop. And we are talking about a deck that is very popular right now. That would be Keldeo Blastoise. And it is all based around disability right here. Usually called Rain Dance, now called Deluge. Deluge?
Yeah, no, it's Rain Dance.
It's Rain Dance Blastoise. So, you want to tell about how the deck kind of works here?
Well, let me, yeah, you dump a bunch of water and use some Keldeo and kill things.
There you go.
But, yeah, that's it. Next step?
Alright, next step.
Next step? No, well, first of all, that's obviously the main gimmick. You also sometimes occasionally dump the energies on Mewtwo EX.
Oh, there you go.
And then you kill things.
Okay.
Next step.
Alright, sweet. Alright, next step.
Actually, let's close this Blastoise real quick. There's two major things that we have to touch on before we even go into the numbers on this deck. One, I don't have a third Keldeo EX.
Yes, this deck.
There will most definitely be a third Keldeo EX in here, and traditionally there are 3 Blastoises instead of 4. But I was fortunate enough to keep pulling Blastoises so I could max it out in place of that Keldeo.
So you're saying 1 less Blastoise, 1 more Keldeo. Very easy fix, right?
Semi-easy fix because I might want the 4th Blastoise in an online deck. Because the other thing I need to touch on is that there are no tropical beaches.
Yes, we've talked about this in other videos, but yes, talk about it.
Namely Hydreigon. That deck's awful. No, but without tropical beach is a great way to give the deck consistency. It works great with the Skylas that you're already running, and it really enables the deck to be consistent. We don't have that here, so it does become a little bit more difficult to get Blastoise out. So even if we do have the 3rd Keldeo, there might be something I'd rather cut than the Blastoise, just to keep the Blastoise in there to maximize your efficiency. So there are a few concessions made to this list to get around the fact you don't have a beach. The deck will not be as good online as it is in real life.
Yes.
The last city championships I went to, the top 4 was all Keldeo Blastoise.
Crazy. That's Northeast Ohio for you.
Yeah. I think that there are at least 5 in top 8, and I think 6. Yeah, it was pretty bad. There's a legitimate 40% of the field has been Blastoise in almost all the cities here. I
wonder what beats it. That's what I'm playing. All right, so
for reference, Rayquaza Eels with
it very much so.
Prisms and Shaman is very good against it.
All right, so this is the guy that half the time you're attacking with, more than half the time actually. We want to play 3. It's Keldeo EX if you want to hit on Rush In and Secret Sword.
Secret Sword we'll touch on first, just because it's the bread and butter of the deck. You're just hitting for upwards of
a lot.
1 hits. You can take out
6. You need 6, but
6 to kill
an EX. But that's not very difficult, which we'll get into with all the energies.
6 or 7, 8 with
seven
a DC, with not a DC, but an EVO light on some of them.
Yeah.
Well, you can get there a surprisingly large number of times.
Oh, wow. Yes, you can.
So, that's just, hopefully you'll be able to get them out on turn 2 and start hitting for 110. You'll notice something special in this list that is not played in most of the decks in real life, because you're trying to negate the damage done by not having Beach. But we'll touch on that when we get down to the energies. But yeah, he's your main attacker. You've got Russian, which replaces switches. It just makes sure that you always have the ability to attack with a Keldeo. They can't strand your Blastoise. You're always able to get it out there. It shaves space off of having to run switches in a higher tree cost deck. It's great utility ability, and that card is absolutely fantastic as an attacker in a deck that can actually jam it full of water energies. You have a very favorable weakness. There's not a lot of grass out there. People have been trying to run Virizion in some decks.
Yeah, right. That's the out.
And then you also have, obviously, the Shaman, which is a bit conditional, and then it can also one-shot Shaman back.
Yeah.
So it's a really hard card to kill. Rayquaza EX can knock it out. You can get 2 hit by things. Mewtwo can theoretically one-shot it if it gets really tanked.
Yeah.
Mewtwo's pretty good against Keldeo, to be honest. It doesn't exploit Keldeo, but it's kind of like before where, you had to have a deck that was able to go one-on-one with Mewtwo. You didn't have to actively beat Mewtwo. And I think this is kind of what Darkrai did. It wasn't preying on Mewtwo so much as it was able to go toe-to-toe with Mewtwo. And that's all you really need. You need something that can at least fight on an even playing field with it.
Well, good thing
give your deck a chance. Right.
So.
Yeah, so if they do kill you with Mewtwo.
Mewtwo.
Yeah, Keldeo's basic attacker, I think he's pretty simple. We'll go with the Mewtwo next.
Here's Mewtwo. If you haven't seen Mewtwo yet, I don't think you've played Pokemon in the last year. X-Ball is the attack we're using here.
Yeah, you can you can Rain Dance. I refuse to call it Deluge. Deluge. Yeah. They just made that voice on camera. That's great. Yeah, so we've got X-Ball. Same incremental advantage from additional energies as Keldeo, just without that lovely 50 base. But it's different type, different weakness, and it exploits other Mewtwo's, which decks are playing a lot of. It's also going to tag for 2, so like if you do open with it and you don't have a Blastoise out, you can X-Ball on the second turn.
A little quicker.
Right.
So here's the Blastoise line. It's a 4/4. We already talked about some of the cuts we would make.
Stage 1s are awful. Don't run them. You can theoretically play a War Turtle. I don't think I would do it. I was playing with one for a while, and it literally never did anything. Like, ever. So, you have 4 Skylas, 4 Rare Candies. You don't need it. So, let's hit the energy score.
All right, energies.
There's a special surprise in here.
Whoa, DCs! What are those doing here? I actually very much like these. I was gonna hit on this, but I didn't even know we were playing with them. So if you want to talk about why we're playing DCs, it looks like we have that's 12 water energies, 3 DCs.
Okay, basic idea is we're accepting the fact that we're not going to reliably get a turn 2 Blastoise out as much as a normalist would because we don't have Tropical Beach.
No Tropical Beach. This is online, folks. No Tropical Beach.
So we want to optimize the ability to be able to attack on the second turn anyways, or in the first turn with Mewtwo. So by having DCEs, it allows a turn 1 X-Ball if you open with Mewtwo. It allows a reliable turn 2 attack with Keldeo, whereas a Water and a DC, you're only hitting for 70, but you're still hitting on turn 2. So it also does work well with X-Ball later on in the game. I don't know the correct number because, again, most of the testing I've done with this deck has been with Tropical Beach. So I know I want some amount of DCEs to offset that. I don't necessarily know if this energy count is correct. You could go 2 and 13 water energies. I know a lot of decks are running just 13 water energies anyways, and I feel with adding 3 more energies for Mewtwo and for Keldeo to attack with earlier on, you can get away with cutting one of those. You have the 4 energy retrievals, and you have a
those can sometimes
Ceylon, whatever that guy's called. I don't know how to pronounce.
Ceylon, I believe.
Yeah, you have run one of those, so like you're able to get to the water energies the longer the game goes. You have the DCEs for the early game where you need energies. So I don't know if it's a perfect balance or not. I'm sure those numbers can be tweaked a little bit with more playing with
definitely play with
section of a list.
I was gonna say that before we got into this, if there weren't DCs are very good in this deck. I was playing with a deck that I believe had 4. Was it 4? It was playing with 4 DCs in it, and it was really cool. It made Mewtwo very, very fast. It made the deck. Because even it's kind of a pipe dream for turn 2 Blastoise, even with the beach. It's just not easy to do, and even with that, to get the 3 energies.
Unless you're one of my opponents at cities.
Oh, I mean,
in which case it happens every
I don't think I've played a game against this deck where they're just like, oh, what? It's turn 2 Blastoise, at least 140.
Yeah, no, I've just been abused by Blastoise.
I can't play this deck.
and that was the first. It's awful.
It's like the auto have first ticket. But yeah, that's the energies we're playing with. So we're going to go right here into the trainers and supporters. We've got 4 Skyla, 4 Juniper, 4 End, something that you've come accustomed to. If you've seen our streams, you know why we play with these cards.
I don't even like End particularly in this deck because of the fact that
I was going to say it's not a very good End deck.
You can't really get I could even see going 3 End, 3 Bianca in this situation. And again, this is a situation where not having Beach is really unfortunate because I would definitely go less ends if I had other draw cards, but otherwise I'm just defaulting pretty much to my standard draw engine where I really...
Which it works.
Because the other thing is that when this deck is using N aggressively, it's not so bad. It's just when you're getting hit with an N and then KO'd, it becomes a much worse card. So when you can use your Ns early on and save your other supporters, you almost have to make a concentrated effort to do it because the Ns become much weaker for you as the game goes on.
And stronger for your opponents, which is...
Right, so if you get them, even if you have a choice between, a Juniper or an N, and, or if you're computer searching for a supporter and you need it, even though you normally, if you could afford to discard your entire hand, I would still almost grab the N just to purge that out of your deck to keep Junipers later on.
That's a very good
If you have the choice of being able to prioritize N over other supporters, burn the Ns early.
I like that.
It's still better than your alternative supporters right now, but it is not very good in this deck.
Okay. Yeah, it's very good against you.
I could see even cutting one for another Ceylon, maybe. I'm gonna pronounce it differently every time I...
Saloon.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to the saloon. Yeah. It's really good against you. Let's look at the Ceylon here. We have 14 supporters, 4, 4, and 4 with 2 Bianca. for draw, which is what we've usually been running. I think every deck.
We might go with. Don't ask me why I'm not running the full arts in this one, but I just forgot to add them. I didn't want to show off.
So here's Salon. Search your deck for 3 basic energy. Pretty good when you deluging energies.
Yeah.
So just one of him for just ripping them out of the deck. Good mid game.
It's one of those cards where once you're set up, it's probably one of your better supporters to actually draw. So I wouldn't mind even trying to. I know people have differing opinions on this card, and I'm kind of in the middle ground.
I haven't played it.
I've seen some people who hate it.
Played it.
Yeah. I'm a maniac, and I spend a lot of time testing Embor decks. Like, you don't even want to know how many different Embor variants, even in like this current format that I've tried. I don't want to like share any lists because they were all busts, but like you guys can make fun of me for that. But I went real deep with my Embor.
I think it was a couple years ago that it was kind of you and me that were the lead test group of Magnum. I mean, in this area for Magnum.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Magnum is.
I mean, it wasn't exactly a difficult deck to put together.
No, but it was a big one.
Yeah.
I love that. And Salon probably would have been mediocre in that deck.
It wouldn't have been very good. Like you actually
hit 150 something. Yeah, Magnum's just way better.
The thing with it is that it's not very useful if you aren't set up. Mm-hmm. And go back to the Embor. I had this crazy Embor and Polygon Rayquaza deck. I'll build it. We're gonna start doing like the equivalent of like you know how Puka does the that deck Mondays.
Oh,
we're gonna do.
We're doing Trainwreck Tuesdays. Someone just said it back there. Yeah. Brad Nelson Magic Trainwreck Tuesdays.
We're completely just stealing his name. It's just so perfect.
Brad Nelson, or Top Cut. I guess you play Pokemon.
Yeah.
Pokemon, whatever the Bad Deck Monday.
Yeah,
it's called.
We're just clearly ganking Trainwreck Tuesday, and I promise to give you guys Embor and Polygon Rayquaza, and I'm not going to stop till I win a game. So
I bet you we win first game. It's just going to be really boring.
Yeah, but okay, I'll play a few. But I'm going to play on basic yellow all day long. But
so we got 15 supporters. And we talked about them. You can switch some stuff with them. We have.
I almost like going with an extra Bianca and maybe even extra Saloon.
Yeah. So we have one computer search. If you're not playing an A-spec card being computer search, I guess you're wrong.
You're doing it wrong. And I've heard people fight for Gold Potion. And
I like it.
Nope.
Nope.
Wrong.
I'm wrong. So here's a card. Energy Retrieval. One of my favorite cards. Played it in Magnavore. 4 of them. 4 of them in this deck. Do you want to hit
it? Basically takes the spot of 2 energies, and you can scout for it.
Yep.
So
pretty easy there. It's
probably the best threshold of energies in your discard pile / in play. Basically, you end up having extreme value off of energy retrieval, and you're getting basically 2 energies in your deck for the cost of 1 space, which is something you really need to do because one of the problems with playing a stage 2 that puts a bunch of energies in play, and it's the same thing with Inferno, Fandango, with Embor, is you really don't like having to play all the cards necessary to make a stage 2 work and then have to run like a ton of energies. That was randomly one of the things that was really handicapping the decks right now. I think it's the one thing that's keeping Embor from maybe being playable. Mm-hmm. Even like Embor Rayquaza is you're incredibly weak to N, and
you have to play cards like
you have to put a ton of energy.
You have to play cards like this and energy. Like
energy source is very difficult.
Yeah. So like I was going to say that this is the card you want to draw after they knock out the first Keldeo.
Right.
Almost assuredly. It's just better than energy. We have 4 Catcher in this deck. This is a more aggressive deck. Most of the decks we've featured so far played 3, so Catcher can be used a little bit more aggressively if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, you are actually a fast deck, especially with the variant running the DCEs here. Yeah, you want to actually start punishing people. And with like the Mewtwo's even, like a turn 1 Mewtwo.
Get you with your time.
Like, again, I don't feel like Eels is a good matchup for you at all, but that's how you can steal games. Like, if you can kill a bunch of Tynels, you can be really aggressive with Mewtwo. That gives you an edge.
Catchers can steal some games.
And catchers allow you to be aggressive, even with just like the turn 2 Keldeo with the DCE here. Like you want to be able to. 70's fine.
It's killing basics. That's killing
Dinos,
Clangs. All that stuff.
Is it Clang or Clang? Clink, whatever the basic the basic gear is. Yeah, Squirtle kill early on. Like early catcher is something you want in here. You're going to be discarding aggressively with this deck kind of too. So like you might lose a couple catchers. You do actually need to be able to be a little more aggressive with this. You're fast.
So here's 4 rare candies. Very good with Skyla. We're playing at 4-0-4 line.
Yeah, you want the turn 2 Blastoise. Like absolutely maximize consistency, which is why I'm also going with the 4 Blastoises over the 3.
Yeah, I like it.
I think that you cannot go less than 4 of those. Especially if you have to discard some early on, like a Juniper. And it happens.
There's Super Rod. Like I said, every time we hit Super Rod,
it's just a lot of mandatory. Like I didn't like it in a lot of decks before, just because I felt that the games were very fast, and they. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like the games before, it's like games are over in 6 turns a lot of times even, and you don't have time to reset stuff with your deck and have to try to dig back towards it. A lot of times you have to. Not every game did you need Super Rod, and the games that you did need it, it was very hard to grab. Now it's a little bit different because you do have 4 stylists in a lot of decks. So Super Rod is very easy to grab in those games where you want it. So I feel that its value went way up with the introduction of Skyla. Some decks you needed it before, like you had to put in Eels. I hated running it, but you needed it because everyone is just killing Dynamos.
It's like that one of that you just
you feel guilty playing it, but
I don't mind it. I like 9 minutes in last format. So I played 9 minutes with SPs and stuff.
Yeah.
You just do it.
I think that was 2 formats ago.
Oh my god, whatever.
It feels
I don't even remember.
The golden age. The glory days.
The golden age of Luxray. Here's Ultra Ball. We're playing 4 of them, folks. Not a lot of Pokemon, but we want to get them.
Because I've seen people really like cards like Pokemon Communication.
You used to run up basics. How many Pokemon are we even
not
playing?
very many. We're
playing
playing like
12 Pokemon?
Like, Honestly, I've seen most that run more, and I don't... You need like 16.
I was going to say 17 is what I like to be at, like an Empoleon deck or something like that.
You don't really like the discard cards. It's a lot better with Beach when you have it, as you can maximize your Beach.
As we go back to it, Beach.
It's like, you don't want Level Ball in here. It's not good enough. You can use Heavy Ball to get Blastoise, but...
I've seen that. I wanted
to
say
the basics.
I wanted to say that one thing I liked was I personally liked one level ball to get a Squirtle.
You can diversify because of Skyla.
And I played against Carl Shu, top 8 nationals last year, Carl Shu.
And regional champion.
Regional champion Carl Shu, yes. Doing pretty good.
And overall super hyperactive kid.
Yeah. He was playing one heavy ball against me. He played a heavy ball against me.
To get Blastoise, yeah.
Yeah, so...
I drove him up to Cities on Saturday, actually, so we were discussing a lot of decks and stuff.
So...
He really convinced me on the Tropical Beach and Hydreigon as well.
Wow, okay.
I'd thought of it before.
I didn't even think of it, and I'm a huge fan of it there. But we're playing 4 of these. Think about those, though, too.
You can diversify.
They're very good. I like the one level ball, personally. A heavy ball I've seen played, so definitely something to look into. That's all the trainers we're playing.
I like Ultra Ball more than anybody else, by the way.
I was huge on it when it came out. Because you want to know why? This might be my favorite supporter. Actually, easily my favorite supporter.
Bianca?
Oh, man, it's not even that good. It's my favorite.
It's clearly the worst one, but you can like it more than anybody else does.
I like it more.
You can't like it more than Juniper, though.
The second they printed Ultra Ball, I was on that card. Huh?
That hat that she's wearing is very stylish.
What a harlot.
A harlot? Jezebel.
So these are the trainer supporters we're playing. Right now, if you could tell people at home, you need to be playing 2 Tropical Beach, right?
And if you're playing in real life, suck it up, get the Tropical Beach.
Gotta do it. It's very good. And you're going to use them in other decks. Where would you put them in this deck, if we could tell?
Where would I put them in this deck? Well, first of all, you'd be cutting down the energies. I think you'd cut some ends. You would potentially cut a Blastoise. Although the Blastoise would go to Keldeo.
So we have
you don't need you need anywhere from 13 to 14 energies. So I probably would... I kind of like the DCEs anyways.
I would play I was saying that earlier. I would definitely play some number of DCA. Makes your deck a little bit better.
A traditional list, like if we're going to go with a non-adventurous build for this, then you can go 13 water energies, and you probably just cut the 2 DCEs for the Tropical Beaches, and you take the 4th Blastoise and make it a 3rd Keldeo, and you might tweak the supporters a little bit, maybe even cut one for like an end for a heavy ball, even. Yeah. If you want to do something like that.
What about Energy Search? Any thoughts on that?
Energy Search. You're running a lot of energies in here.
So much? Okay.
I think this is another deck where you actually care about the energy density, not just being able to get them early. Mm-hmm. So, Energy Search effectively guts your deck of 2 energies every time you use it. So, when you're dealing with something like this deck, it actually matters. You don't want to have an effect like that. I think I'd rather just be running the actual water energies, even though you can't Skyla for it. You're Skyling for energy retrieval outside of the first turns of the game. So if you need to, you can always computer search.
That's true.
Or energy, as awful as that sounds.
I've done
number 6. I've done a lot with Eels. That's why I added the energy search.
Yeah.
No, I'm just getting a lightning because I need one to discard to a Juniper.
I've seen that.
It was so awful. That one game with
I think we did that against
the Rayquaza deck.
One of our videos against Rayquaza, we did that. It was pretty awesome. But that's it, guys. We hit on some of the changes that have to be made, the reasons why we're playing it for Pokemon Online. This is Pokemon Online.
One other part I want to touch on. Some people have been playing a couple of Super Scoop Ups.
Yes, I totally forgot. I was gonna mention Super Scoop Up.
And I kind of like it, and I kind of don't.
Yeah, I actually like it. I like the card.
There are games where it's just gonna like completely steal a game if you hit the heads with it, and then there are matchups where it's not particularly relevant, and it gives a win more condition, where it's not going to save you games you're going to lose, and games where you hit it and win, you probably were going to be able to win anyways. So I don't really know where I stand on it, and I think I'd rather be playing consistency cards, because most of those games that you win off of Super Scoop Up could have been won if you set up better, and if you hit more consistently. That's not going to be 100% true, but because of the fact that it is a flip card, is conditional, and is bad in matchups where you get one-shotted, that I'm not super high on it, but I definitely don't mind it.
I don't mind it either. I personally, if you wanted to play it,
that could be another card you could, when you add the beaches, once you trim the energies, you can take out like an N or something like that towards that. I think that's a perfectly fine card to do there, unless you reset like a damaged Keldeo, get the energies back, and
so brutal
build a more powerful one.
It's absolutely brutal.
It's a situation where I really wish that we had Seeker. As a
my god! It
would actually just be incredible.
How broken would Scoop Up? Straight
Scoop Up. I think that discards the energies though.
Oh, I don't care. We're playing 4 energy retrieval.
Getting the energies back is actually one of the reasons I like having Super Scoop Up. Otherwise, you can just use Max Potion. And I'm not a fan of Max Potion in here. So.
Alright, well, if you guys are going to be deluging energies around cities this year, try this deck out. So for Chris Fulop, former national champion, my name is Alex Schacht. Thanks for showing up, guys.